My UFC influencer MMA dream card. Let's go, boys! I'm excited for this. I've been putting much work into what you will see on the screen now. Hope it looks good. Let's go. Let's go, boys! If you don't appreciate this, okay. Let's get to the point. Whether you love, hate, or if you're somewhere in the middle with all the influencer stuff, Jake Paul, KSI, all the stuff, it's fine. It's good. So what you see here, I got 8 fights. This is not a YouTube boxing channel. This is not a boxing channel. This is not a YouTube channel. This is not even MMA channel. This is UFC, baby. That's the FPFL, all the other stuff. So we got 8 fights, and yeah, basically this is not very simple. So you get the premise. This is not boxing. This is not influencer crossover, celebrity boxing, whatever you want to call it. This is many of the guys, like the top names, the big names that you would see in influencer boxing. If you watch Misfits boxing with KSI and all that, like I would imagine most people that are here, or many of you are MMA fans, UFC fans. Of course, Jake Paul have, how many of our MMA guys has he taken out? Askren, Woodley twice, Silva, Diaz, Mike Perry. So I think every MMA fan knows Jake. Of course, we had other crazy ones with KSI. In some crazy way, I saw it live. We got Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. That's one of the probably best examples of how crazy this stuff has been going. But so, yeah, this is MMA. This is basically, yeah, if these big grudge matches and everything happened, in the cage, specifically in the UFC, Dana White booked this. This is good stuff. So yeah, this card could basically be very similar or completely the same on a huge, big like influencer boxing card. But of course, the biggest difference here, and what gives me more restrictions, is that when we see whatever YouTuber, celebrity, when people outside the MMA world and everything box, and they go against one of our older guys, or even someone like Darren Till, he's not old. When Jake goes, when Jake Paul goes up against like a Tyron Woodley, for example, he's bigger, he's clearly a better boxer. He even beat Anderson Silva. In MMA or just Prime, or like we would never in a million years mention. Even Woodley, like guys like Silva. If we look at the of course Nate Diaz and Woodley probably shouldn't even be mentioned with Silva, but if you look at the stacking order with like McParry, Nate, Woodley, Silva up there, you would never mention them with Jake, especially not like an Anderson Silva. But especially when he's a bit older, and it's boxing, no leg kicks, no jiu-jitsu, no elbows, just boxing. Then there's a completely different thing, and of course, this being an MMA video, like an MMA card, I couldn't just do KSI versus Darren Till or Jake versus Conor McGregor. Like, of course, in boxing that would be completely different. But in MMA, if I would do like the rematch, Logan and Dylan Dennis, could Logan beat him? Honestly, probably could. But if you probably get what I'm saying, they, like, if I just did a lot of MMA guys here, they would probably just dominate, and it would probably not an interesting card. So yeah, I'm not gonna harp on this. The first fight I made for a great card here. You will have some connected MMA names. Just watch and see. This is good shit. We start off with my first and only women's fight. So, what is it? Nina Drama. Nina Marie Danielle, I think her real name is. A quick summary for those that don't know who she is. I can imagine there's like MMA fans watching this. It's influenced boxing fans, somewhere in between, whatever. So I'm gonna give like a simple, so you get stuff. Nina Drama, she's known in the MMA world. She has been like the kind of the biggest interviewer, reporter, whatever you want to say, for the last 2 years, since 2023. She, of course, most MMA fans probably noticed her around Jones' return in 2023 when he beat Gane. Right before there, she somehow got an interview with Jones. And ever since, she have became great friends with Sean Strickland. Like real friends. Sean Strickland, of course, former middleweight champion. And she's basically known for being hot. She's definitely attractive. Always have like a flirty way of doing the interviews. Always sits with her cleavage. And, like always trying to have a very, adult star look. Which we will get to when we talk about her opponent. But so, she's basically known for being hot, flirting with the fighters, sitting with her tits out. Her boyfriend, who is a cock, sits and films, records all the interviews, which is very weird. And compared to like boring Ariel Helwani, I mean he can do good interviews, but a very boring guy. Or like all that, like credit to Nina in one way. If you ever watch the MMA, the UFC press conferences, holy shit. So like, how does it feel being in Columbus? How is your training camp going? Like, okay, we get it. Same questions all the time. But so Nina basically is known, as I said, flirty, hot and everything. But like very weird questions. Like, credit to her, she has had some great... Her and Strickland's chemistry is amazing. She had a funny as fuck moment with Dricus du Plessis about Black History Month. Nina, like, she started off as a... I don't know if I can say everything. Basically being... you can search it up. Search Nina Drama... Nude or Nina Marie Danielle or whatever, nude. She was in dirty magazines, play a lot boy. So so she basically became famous there. And speaking of that, many similarities between her and her opponent. All of you that are watching know her opponent. You probably grew up loving her content, or you heard about her maybe in your late teens, in your 20s, depending on your age. What they both have in common is that they both would love to be known for what they're doing currently, but they both are known for what they did before. Playboy, some other similar stuff for the other one. Both have, like maybe you can guess who it is. Both have long black hair. Both look Middle Eastern. Nina isn't, I think she's like French Italian, but both look like Middle Eastern. Both love to show their stuff here. And still say that, no, I'm not a slut. I'm not a hoe. Nina actually loves to copy her opponent's style with the glasses on to look a bit hotter, as I said, some push-up. Yeah, as I said, Nina loves to show some stuff here. Also, her opponent does, but her opponent have much more to show. Her opponent is Mia. I don't know if I can. I don't want to get more. Mia Wiz Khalifa, The Burj Khalifa. That imagine that Tom Cruise climbing on, running on Mia Khalifa. That probably is some AI fantasy. Some of you weird people will see. I love this. This is a great opener, and I'm not gonna drag on everyone. I just thought we needed some good way to start a good announcement. Know who Nina is. Some build up to the surprise opponent. This won't be the first time Mia Khalifa lays on top on someone, or is on the bottom of someone for cash, for millions of people to see. But it's live this time. It's live, baby. No behind the scenes stuff. No retakes. If a fake clip, falls out of the UFC bra or whatever you call it, fine for us, man. This is fantastic. We should move on, but shouldn't I say something more? Should we? Yeah, I imagine, as for myself, I grew up in my early teens, my mid-teens, I guess, 14, 15, loving this girl's content. Sad that she didn't post more. She just like did a few, but there was some classics, man. She went in quick and out quicker. Mrs. Mia, and I love her. Yongo, Little Twang, with a Thang. King Kenny. For those who for those who don't know, I mean, he has trained a lot with Deadly Comedy Shorts Gamer, KSI's younger brother. Yeah, he's one of the more slick and technical boxers. Doesn't have much power. Doesn't have. He's like a decision fighter. He's styled on Whindersson Nunes, if someone knows who that is. So for the influencer scene, he's very technical, very good defensively. Likes to vary weight and everything. And his opponent is the Hitman, Slim Boy. Slim is his name. Slim. Slim, of course, was supposed last summer to fight KSI. Both these guys are, of course, fighting on the KSI's Misfits show. Have made names for themselves. Slim, of course, has beaten, depending on if you know the names, Salt Papi and other names. Face Temper, many people probably know, knocked him out. And yeah, these two, Slim was supposed to fight KSI last summer. KSI had like a hand injury, I believe, pulled out. Slim then fought another guy, spoiler, that is later on this list, where he lost. On the same card, Kenny also lost. So both, this was back in like November last year, so this is a great fight to have a second fight. Both very good for the Misfits boxing scene. Kenny especially very technical. Slim, very dangerous, has finished several guys that are very good for the scene. And was undefeated up to his last fight. So they both lost on the same card. People have already talked about this fight. This is a great matchup to put together. Of course, this time in MMA, which would of course look at very different. Yeah, really good fight. If you know, you know. Moving on to the next. Wade, Mr. Wade Concept. Of course, for you guys that are of MMA fans and everything, Wade, of course, covers a lot of MMA, UFC. He really enjoys MMA Guru. I mean, who doesn't? And yeah, he has been like the #1 media guy in the influencer scene since 2022 when Misfits and everything started. He was interviewing KSI, working for Misfits, the entire KSI boxing company. Had a fallout with KSI and the company in 2023 because they felt that he was basically not being a good employee. He speaks his mind a lot, which of course they want to. KSI and them, they you know, as many bosses and everything want, they don't want him to speak badly about the company. I mean, you can see both sides. But so they like publicly fired him. He's currently, sometimes not, working like kind of with or for Jake Paul and his brand MVP. He of course was in the arena and commenting the fight with Jake and Mike Tyson with his dad. So really cool for him. But he has also, in January, returned to Misfits. And yeah, if I wasn't clear, like he covers mostly influenced due to boxing, covers MMA also. Yeah, talk about a lot of stuff. Great YouTuber. Wade Plem. YouTube name Wade Concept. He made his debut on Misfits in January. I believe on like it was the same card as Darren Till destroying Anthony Taylor. Is in his Misfits debut, of course, was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, who pussied out. And also on that card, as I said, I believe Wade was the co-main. His opponent also pulled out. So Taron Till lost his opponent. Wade lost his opponent. And Wade's opponent, I don't know much about him. Looking at his name, I think he's like famous or known from TikTok. Mr. HS TikTok is his name. I hate that. I think his real name is, was it something H. Sullivan or something? Harrison Sullivan? No. I don't know. HS, I think is his name, and then TikTok. Yeah, I would imagine he got like famous or known from TikTok. We don't need to spend much time with this. Both guys had one fight in Misfits. HS had it like a few months, I believe, before Wade. He talks a lot of shit. He's very high level for the scene, it looks like. Just like dominated his opponent and like finished him TKO, knockout, whatever. So very impressive, very young. I believe he's like 8-10 years older than Wade. Wade is of course what is it now? Is he 34? Something like that. I think he's 34. I believe the other guy is in his early 20s. I believe he's younger than me, Mr. HS. So yeah, he pulled out. They have been talking some trash, some shit to each other. And HS is facing some criminal stuff. Pretty sure. He has some problem coming into certain countries. There'll be some weird stuff I've seen. I don't know more than that. But so that's definitely a fight that needs to happen. A grudge that needs to be settled. And yeah, of course it would look different in MMA. Wade is very known. He knows what he talks about a lot. I could say Wade, that watches MMA a lot, talks about MMA, who picked up boxing great in like 5 weeks from BJ Flores. I could definitely see him picking up MMA quick. Like, dude, he's a big, strong guy. Like, maybe using he's tall. Both guys are tall. You see both guys' necks. Look at Wade's neck. Jesus. If we base this on UFC, you can see this as like the 3 prelim fights. This card wouldn't need 10-15 fights. 8 is perfect. This will sell loads. You can see this as great prelims with the main card starting with Salt Papi. I would imagine a lot of MMA fans could have heard of this guy also. I believe he's from like the Philippines, or like have Philippine roots. Maybe one of his parents, maybe both. I don't know. I even believe Manny Pacquiao, the guy that's like 40 and is back in boxing and beating up the champ apparently, if I heard correctly. I believe he like supports Papi, or if he like congratulated him on social media, maybe like something, maybe a few years back or whatever. Big card that happened in November. Another great card that you should watch. There you saw the guys that had rebuilt themselves. Salt Papi versus King Kenny. Papi, sparked him out, like kind of knocked him out. Like Kenny was badly hurt, man. He was, yeah. And in the main event, Slim lost for the first time to a guy we're gonna get to here very soon. So, and that's why, as I said, Kenny and Slim is coming off losses. And Slim is... Dude, I'm confusing the names, no one was confused. Mr. Filipino up there in the gold, Sal Papi. He's probably like number one, or at least one of the most, natural, gifted boxers in the influencer scene. He just picked it up like that. Many people thought he was, came with an amateur career or anything. Maybe he has been training his entire childhood and never thought that we could see. I don't know. But yeah, it seems like it's legit. Like, he just learned very quick, started to spark out people. And sparked out Kenny. And so, in a perfect way, Kenny just lost. This is all on the same card. Kenny lost to Sal Papi. Slim lost to Gib. Slim versus Gib, of course, was the main event. Yeah, the two guys you see in purple and the two guys you see in gold faced each other. So, with both guys losing here, Kenny and Slim, perfect way to put them together, as I said. And the winners, Sal Papi versus Gib. Gib is an OG, probably not anymore, but was very good friends with KSI, Sidemen, Deji, that crew. And yeah, he fought on the first ever influencer card. The first ever back in February 2018. KSI versus Joe Weller. It was after that fight where you got the famous moment. Yay, Paul! Yay, Paul! Logan Paul! I know the Pauls! I don't care! And all that stuff. So yeah. Gib fought on that card. Beat Max Plays FIFA, I think. Then fought on the Logan KSI card, beat Jay Swingler. That win aged very well. Swingler, of course, returned 4 years later on Misfits and has fought a bit. Gib, of course, had a big setback. Right after KSI beat Logan in the rematch, we're going to January 2020. And in the US, and Jake Paul fought Gib. Jake Paul, of course, was on vengeance and wanted revenge for his brother and wanted to knock KSI the F out. Gib, as one of KSI's good friends, and was, undefeated at the time. Great cardio, just bulldoze people and through hands. Not the best technique, but it worked at the time. KSI was like, okay, Jake, you want to fight me? Go through Gib. If you beat him, you can fight me. And many people, especially in the UK, was, like most people, people hated Jake, especially back then. Everyone supported Gib, this short, good, cute guy. He just seemed like a good guy. Hilarious with his skits and everything. But he got murked in the first round by Jake. Was it in Nevada? I don't know. But in the state athletic commission, they were... I don't know if it's like in many places or whatever. But if you're dropped 3 times in a round, or at least the first round, the fight is over. And Jake dropped him once, twice, a third time. The fight was over. So yeah. And the entire KSI Jake Paul saga kind of grew from there. Of course, it started back in 2018, but you know what I mean. Of course, COVID hit 2 months after, so everything just stopped. But yeah, Sal Papi and Gib, great fight, 2 of the best in the scene. But Sal Papi slick with counter shots, fast, explosive, power. Gib has cardio for days. He's just not getting tired. He's just over time getting better and better with the boxing, and his style works for him. He beat up Slim bad, who was undefeated. So in MMA, I would think Gib would win this one. I mean, Sal Papi has never been an athletic. Like, if you look at he has been fat or chubby for a long time. Now he's in better shape, but I would imagine Gib could F him up. Now, Now we're getting to the big stuff. Deddy, everyone knows Deddy, Comedy Source Gamer, as I said, KSI's younger brother, very hit and miss, has never taken boxing seriously, but it is on a winning streak. Fucking beat, lost to Jake in his and Jake's first fight back in 2018. Came back after 3 years, out of shape, like fat. Lost to Vinny Hacker after taking the BLM knee. Embarrassing. He was the only fighter on the team YouTube to lose on the YouTube versus TikTok card in 2021, and we're gonna get back to that soon with his opponent. Spoiler. Yeah, so Deddy even returned the year after that, now training with Kenny, and for his first fight also, and Kenny's brother. What is Kenny's brother's name? Fucking Daly is Kenny's big brother's name. I think he's a boxing trainer, at least he's training Kenny, I think maybe some other guys, but he has been training Deddy for a few years. I don't know if he's training with him anymore, actually. But he got Deddy in shape. Deddy's defensive work, coming back against Alex Wasabi, looked great, slick. But as with Kenny, that's probably the biggest weakness of Daly, the trainer. That they seem to have a similar style with good feinting and head movement defense, but never had the best offense. Yeah. Anyway, he looks slick and like the best he has ever done with the defensive work, Deddy, but didn't throw anything, and Wasabi just overwhelmed him and beat him. Anyway, of course, a few months later on the first Misfits card, amazing, one of the like top 3, like one of the best moments in influencer boxing history. Deddy getting his first win after 4 years, almost to the date, 4 years after losing to Jake Paul. Got the corner stoppage, like they threw in the towel. He was beating the piss out of Fusetube. He beat Swarms. Then now last year came out of shape again, but he beat in a terrible performance. He finished some random guy that sucks. And Deddy's opponent is... Guys, thank you so much for watching. This was part 1. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe. The part 2 is coming very, very soon. I promise you. So yeah, latest video here somewhere. Playlist here.